that emphasis has always been INEC, and understandably so, we agree, because time there was where election was an organized crime, with complicity of so many people. So, and even when that happened, the church was also joined to say that God give power to whoever he pleases, as opposed to the divine right or constitutional right of a citizen. It became a divine right of election rigging. But as a people, we must agree that we have moved away from that era.
But before you look at that, let's talk about you mentioned electoral register.
Right.
There was serious concern in Anambra State about electoral register being released very, very close, a second one being released very close to the day of the election, and some of the candidates came out to complain very clearly that even that one seemed like it was not correct.
Well, I think that's partly as a result of the failure of the political class, and that's why I said
we're putting the blame on the political class.
Yes, and I will explain to you.
Okay.
Now, after the registration exercise of 2011, you will recall that when you were doing your registration, as at that time, what the kind of thing you had as at 2011. Now, after the registration at the polling units, because polling units, a cluster of polling units constitutes a ward. Ward constitutes a local government. Now, what we did was to do aggregation and consolidation of all registrants within PU in a ward together. When that was done, there were some data that were missing, all right, either in the process of consolidation or when this crashed on the field. Now, you recall that when you also registered at that time, there was also a manual process. Once you register electronically through the DDC machine, we also write your name that in that order. So a few people across the country, including my states, where we have a situation like that, we wrote their names on what you refer to as the addendum register. Just to enable them, for example, Mr. BC has come. His name is not on this particular the valid register, but you can find his name, his picture on the manual register. So a few of them, of those people were compiled. We hope that...
Mr. Gide,
yes.
Just a moment. Is it not possible to manipulate that manual register you're talking about?
What I'm saying is that, look, you have the registration process. Now, some names were missing. Those names that were missing from a particular polling unit. If you find the manual, you find that out of 10, maybe 3 people were missing. And at that time, we can no longer go back to that exercise. We said, okay, what would you do? Just compile those names and all that. So when they come, when you come to the polling unit, you check your name and before you allow you to vote. Now, with the hope that by 20 subsequent elections, for example, like Anambra now, those whose names are on the addendum register, maybe 6 out of 10, you will now have to come to be recaptured again. That announcement was made in Anambra. That opportunity was given. When the commission finished the registration exercise, there was a display period of a minimum of 5 days. That was also done. I recall that you can play back your tape that on 10 o'clock news, the commission also now came out, developed a process where, like, the students who now check their post-UME examination, as it is today, I'm sure they're going to do that in another state, all right? But it has been started with Anambra. You don't, for example, you fail to go to the polling unit to check your name, what you do is to type the name of the states, your surname, and the last 4 digits through your telephone, your GSM. You just send to dedicated lines that were announced by channels and other broadcast channels. All right. Once you do that, there will be a response, SMS response to you showing your polling unit. If your name is on the register, that will avail those people. They didn't do that. So what happened was that the names, the addendum register have been collapsed. So if you fail and your name was there and you voted in the last election, it's not expected that because we are eliminating that completely across the federation. That was done, they didn't avail them. That's exactly what happened. As to the issue of the register that was given before the election and the one few days to the election, simple. What happened was this. The register that was given before elections and the one of the job remained the same, except for what? You know, when you say you are born 1960, if you remember when you were registered at that time, we don't need to do the calculation. There's a code in the machine. It will just give you the exact age. As I told you, the difference between date of birth and age. Now, the code for 2011, when they were to print, they didn't remove it. So it was deducting people's age by 2 years. Just only 2 years. All right? Now, that was detected before the final printing. Now, one would have thought that if a commission in its approach, because what we are saying that Nigerian people take ownership of the process. Take ownership. Irrespective of the perception, take ownership of the process. And we gave you a register. Do you know that the political parties did not even detect anything? The chairman had to travel, for the what they call the stakeholders meeting, like the kind we are having in Kitty and Osun now. I said, gentlemen, the purpose of giving you the voter as required by law was also for you to do due diligence. Please, do you find anything wrong? All of them said no, nothing was wrong with the register. I said no, something wrong somewhere. This is what happened. But all the other thing, you are there. If I was 20, it will become 18. If you are 18, become 50. That was the only simple thing. But every other thing is regular.
So those who are 18 will then look like they're 16.
Yes, without necessarily, it doesn't remove your name. It's just only the age column, only the age column. So when they now put back that code, it restored everything back. And so the one that was not given, the latter version that was given to them, still contain the same names of people without law. So the question is, if they are also diligent, because we could have swear not even mention that to them, but we must be open, because confidence building it's about you knowing what you should know. Because democracy works better if the people get the information they should get. And that is what we are committed to and unwavering.
Mr. Gine, you mentioned ballot box snatching earlier.
Yes.
And the impression that you gave was that in 2015, that is not going to happen. I mean, what have you put in place to ensure that that will not happen? Because that's going to be good news to Nigerians.
First and foremost, if you snatch a ballot box, consider yourself as somebody who has stolen the drum of a community. Where are you going to beat it? Because to snatch a ballot box means that you are going to somewhere to thumbprint. First, you must also have what you call ballot papers. Now, assuming you have succeeded in all of these processes, who will accept that thing from you to be counted is abomination. However, and that's why we talk about
done it before.
Thank you.
Listen, we're talking about time past.
Yes.
You can
what has changed now?
What has changed now?
Yeah.
First and foremost, the ballot papers. Before now, you have what we call universal usage of either ballot boxes or ballot papers and result sheets. At the moment, ballot boxes are coded to the polling units. That is to say, the ballot paper
which they hadn't been before.
No. Okay. The ballot boxes to polling unit A cannot be used in B. The one of B cannot be used A or C in that order. So also ballot paper, result sheet, and from EC8A. In fact, that's the new innovation in Anambra State. Before now, what people in complicity with others is that you have from EC8A, which you can take anywhere and make entries. At the moment, which also became a challenge in Anambra, you cannot do that. They are also color coded. According to constituencies.
Mr. Gine, most of these infractions could not have been done without complicity from someone from inside. Are you certain that even with all this color code and number code and all that, that there still will not be complicity from inside that would still make it possible for these infractions to
we have just all agreed that the outcome of 2011 was a remarkable departure. And these are some of the essential features that were part of the process of 2011. But in any case, in every electoral process, a good election, a successful election, there will not be absence of a few challenges anywhere. And that is universal. Because, as you will see from this pyramid of election day duty, you find that because Nigeria can also be in autarky or best practices all over the world, that truly, just as we have in the US, in the UK, in Ghana, in Kenya, that almost 90% of people deployed on election day are usually members of the society, such that the outcome of the election is also